Welcome to Norton Disney, a quiet, unassuming village, but one with a global significance. And the clue to that significance is in the name. The local church is resplendent with medieval tombs, a legacy of the Disney family who carved this corner of Lincolnshire in their own image. Walt Disney himself visited the village in 1949 in the hope that he might be descended from the knights buried here. And he was so inspired that he took elements of this iconography back to the very heart of Disneyland in America. But who were these knights? Where did they live? And were they Walt's ancestors? We've assembled a cast of over 100 people to take us back to the land of the Disneys and hopefully beyond. And as ever, we just got 3 days to do it. Norton Disney lies in the east of England, a small village on the Lincolnshire-Nottinghamshire border, 12 miles outside of the city of Lincoln. With a population of barely 250, the origins of this historic village are uncertain. Good morning.
Hi.
Hello, Gus.
Hello.
Gosh, it's quite a side, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lots of questions. Richard?
Yeah, well, we know that the Disney family had a moated manor house somewhere in this vicinity, close to the more modern building here. But that's about it. We don't know exactly where it was. We don't know whether it was fortified, how ornate it was, whether there's a complex of buildings. We just know that there was something here.
Well, I've been taking a quick look at what we've got, and we've got evidence that there's a moat shown on an early map, or at least one arm of a moat. On the LiDAR, we can see this field in here is full of lumps and bumps. There's clearly a lot going in. You can see that we've got all these lumps and bumps in here. We've got some ploughing going across some features here, which look as if they might be possibly part of a building range, which looks really interesting. And those lumps and bumps, they continue all through this area. So I think we need to focus in here. This is where we really need to start and work out from.
And for once, the geophysics is agreeing with Stewart. I see this area as being where the main activity probably was. We've got clearly the moat, but I don't see any buildings out there. There's very little going on in that field. All the activity is concentrated in here where the earthworks are.
Well, we've got kind of two targets here. We've got the kind of moat, the enclosed manorial high status site where the Lords of Disney would have lived. But we've also got the village, which is the community they would have kind of lived off. So what we're going to do with test pitting is start off by looking for the village. So we're going to do test pits in gardens up the lane there that leads up to the church, up the main street in the village, to see really kind of, was there a community here before the Disney Lords arrived? How did it fare after they arrived, and how did it do after that?
So what happens next? Where are the trenches going to go in?
Sort of question really is to go for the house first or to go for the moat, and I guess we want to go for the house
I want to go
first,
the house first, and then we'll do the moat afterwards and see how that interacts.
So we better get on. So the team will look for the manor house in this area. And the test pit volunteers will be digging up and down the main street and around the church. Richard Osgood is in charge of the excavations, looking for the remains of the manor house. Chris and Hilda will dig it.
Yeah, you could. I think that's probably about where we want to be.
Meanwhile, Carenza and I are heading to the village hall to greet the 50 volunteers digging the test pits today.
Amazing, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And if you can assemble yourselves in groups, that would be great.
So this is where all the volunteers are coming to. They're all waiting inside the hall.
Okay, I can't
We've got
wait to meet them.
got Kit in there, Kit in there. I'm going to go and see how they go.
Okay. Beginning of day one. And this is a bit I absolutely adore, meeting all the volunteers.
We're going to get sorted.
Hello.
We'll get all our volunteers in.
So this is our cast of thousands.
Oh, sorry. That's all right. It's so busy in here. Wow. Is there anyone here who hasn't done archaeology before? You. So what attracted you today?
I'm doing a classical studies degree as a mature student, and so I thought I'd want to come and see how things are found.
Carenza, it's buzzing, isn't it? And what is the hope that will come out of today?
Well, I think what would be brilliant is if we'll get a whole load of pottery and other finds, but the pottery is the really easily dateable stuff, all up and down the high street. We'll be able to say, well, we've got, pre-Norman conquest here, we've got Roman here, we've got high medieval here, we've got the period after the Disneys had left here. We'll be able to see how the village originated, how it grew, and then how it shifted maybe, and then maybe how it contracted. That's what we should be able to get. It's like pieces in a jigsaw. And they're like lights on a map, and they'll come on and off at different times.
Wow.
I hope. Right. Okay, has everybody got into their groups with their panel, showing their test bit number and any equipment they brought with them? Yep. Okay, great, right. Find your sites, start your excavations. Good luck.
Up and down the high street, test pits are open.
Oh, yay, it stands up on its own.
Some are seasoned archaeologists, others complete novices.
I will go in for that.
I wouldn't be doing it that way.
And as the test pits go deeper, we'll be following all of the action over in the dome. Helen, so the nerve centre.
Absolutely,
This is where
yes.
it's all kind of being
yes,
planned.
Yes, and I'm looking at where we've put all the test pits, because this is a map of Norton Disney, the beautiful art
It's a
department
gorgeous
map.
thing.
Yes, it is. And all the red squares are the buildings. Here's a church. Here's the dome, so that's where we are, by the Manor House. And these are all the test pits with their little holographic shovels. This is just the plan, though. When the results come in, we're
Right.
going to have to go the high-tech route for that, and that is through there.
OK. Hey, Derek, lovely to see you.
It's all go. We've got loads of information coming in already. So we've got John's been sending in his geophysics. We've got some drone data coming up. It's all looking really tasty. But we're also able to start to position the trenches and bring in data from them.
Yeah, with so much stuff going on, it's really important we can kind of bring it all together spatially.
We'll be able to place the geophysics in the right place for you, so we'll be able to, the picture will start forming.
Stop a minute.
In Trench 1, the very first signs of occupation are now visible.
So again, you've got lots of mortar on that. Have a look.
Is that a bit of shape?
Yeah, have a. Yeah, it looks like it might be. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's all. Yeah, so it's worked stone, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Good start.
Good, yeah, that is good. Great start.
Look, it's the whole manor coming up now.
So we've already got quite a lot of building rubble coming up.
Here we go, some fine strays. Ooh. What have you got?
That's
What
a good
is
noise. I mean, there's definitely mortar here, isn't it?
Yeah. Appears to be a big squarish.
So that's
block.
when we're machining, we were finding a lot more
Suddenly a
rubble just
lot of
above that,
rubble.
weren't we?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm thinking it could be a wall.
Well, that would be very quick work, wouldn't it? Well, it's looking good.
Yeah, I did just say I might be being too optimistic.
Well, we're getting quite a bit of brick and worked stone, aren't we, in this
Yes,
area?
yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
all really promising.
Yeah, bits of tile, bits of glass, bits of pottery.
It's so busy, though, isn't it? In just one small area.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Good start, good start.
That's a really good start. Wow.
Richard requests an extension to Trench 1 in order to follow what might be a wall feature. Meanwhile, across the village, 8 test pits are now open, and around 50 volunteers, young and old, are doing their bit to take the village history back in time. Members of the team are on hand to help the volunteers to get to grips with the process of test pitting.
The important thing is, so you're going down sort of every 10 centimetres.
Okay.
Once you've done your 10 centimetres, take a little photograph, fill in all your sheets. They're nicely self-explanatory, just follow each line.
Don't think I'm going to let anything go past us, basically.
And it's not long before the first finds see the light of day. The village is a buzz of activity and excitement not least for Julia, who owns the paddock where Trench 1 has gone in.
So Julia, it turns out we're digging in your garden. How does it feel having the crew here?
It's quite amazing, actually. We weren't expecting quite so many people and quite so many pits. But it's fascinating, and we're really excited to see what we're going to find.
Fantastic.
Another local with much invested is Richard Parker from the Norton Disney History and Archaeology Group, who provided a lot of the local muscle and know-how.
We really don't understand the origins of the village itself. It'd be really nice to understand how long the village has been here for, and also to understand a little bit more about the Disneys, because that's what Norton Disney's famous for, is that the Disney family were here from at least 1150.
It's great to work with local community archaeology groups, so hopefully we'll find some interesting information about the village.
We're keeping our fingers crossed.
Brilliant.
The rapid start to Trench 1 has slowed down. Finds are trickling in from the spoil heap.
Oh, well done. That's our first coin. Nice. Well, that should, I'm not going to do it, but it should clean up really nicely, shouldn't it? I mean, you can see some quite, I mean, what do you think? You got any guesses?
I could see a short cross on, you get the long cross coins and the short cross coins.
Yeah. See, I don't touch that because I'd make a right mess of it, but that's a really good thing.
But the archaeology is becoming rather confusing.
Richard?
Yeah.
we seem to be getting a lot of...
that doesn't look like Manor House to me.
Quite modern finds, I would say. There's no asbestos yet. But we have
Brunch
got...
bar. Other chocolates, of course, are available. Brunch bar, yeah, that's probably not what we're after, is it? So this is just a dump of...
A modern dump.
Rubbish.
So I know we got a bit excited back there, but the excitement's slightly lower at this point.
We're lowering morale at this point, are we? That's not good. What about that stone, though? Are you thinking that's in situ, or is that less exciting now?
What do you think, Chris?
Cleaned up around it now. It doesn't seem to have any friends. Seems to be a bit of a stone on its own, so it's a bit less interesting now.
Oh dear, that's the worst sort of stone, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
OK, so the idea is that we're on the 5 metre point here. We'll leave the next 5 metres, and then we'll carry on 5 metres after that. So we've almost got like a string of sausages or a causewayed enclosure or something. We'll keep going in that direction, and we'll fill up that evaluation trench, and then eventually, hopefully, we'll pick up some medieval and not modern stuff.
So the plan is to extend the trench in labour-saving, bite-sized 5 metre chunks.
I have a feeling we're going to find lots of nice things like.
The test pits are now in full flow. Front and back gardens proudly sporting ever-enlarging spoil heaps. Every shovelful is sieved and a rich array of finds is building up.
Oh, it looks like we've got some bits of blue ware and first bit of clay pipe. How exciting is that?
Possible bits of roof tile and lots of nails, lots of kind of naily bits, some pig bones and lots of bits of glass.
Derek and Lawrence are busy in the dome, keeping track of the finds on the maps.
Derek, we've started to get some of the photos through for the test pits that are spreading across the village.
To be honest, the archive's working really well. We've got data coming in thick and fast. I mean, test pit 9, I mean, we've got progress shots so we can see how deep they are.
Very test pit, isn't it?
Some lovely ceramic. Now, I'm no ceramic expert, but it definitely is ceramic. Feels quite recent. Yeah, but if we take a look at some of the others, for example, test pit 1, we can see they're getting pretty deep down there, and some nice annotations here.
I like the use of the writing on the photo.
Finds trays coming in. Let's have a look at test pit 11. That one I think is sending in loads of data. Oh my gosh! And a lovely clay pipe. I think that's probably my find of the dig so far.
The finds are shedding light on how the residents of Norton Disney used to live.
I like this. Any idea what this is?
I don't know, top of the flower pot maybe?
Good guess. It's obviously ceramic. This is probably 19th, 20th century chamber pot. So, yes, so this would be quite a large pot that you probably keep at the end of your bed. And should you need to use conveniences in the middle of the night, then you would use this.
All the while, Carenza encourages everyone to be vigilant and to keep their eyes open for early pottery.
So just keep anything flattish, a bit small, because the earlier pottery, the medieval pottery, will look like bits of old dog biscuit.
But as yet, there have been no glimpses of the medieval village through the finds.
A bit of that creamware here. You seem to be getting less of the modern stuff, so maybe you're getting down to slightly earlier layers.
There is, however, one place in the village where we can instantly step back in time to the Disney era, and that's in St. Peter's Church. I joined Richard Parker to help me understand the monumental legacy of the Disneys.
Wow. So here we are. This is the mortuary chapel for the Disneys, their personal burial place.
So these are actual Disneys?
Yeah, these are actual Disneys. We have one here, for instance, William Disney, slightly defaced here historically for some reason. We've got the 3 lions here, the heraldic crest of the Disneys.
And you see those 3 lions on the building?
Absolutely.
In a range of different places.
And if we look over here at Joan of Deve's tomb, for instance, there's some more lions here as well.
Richard the Lionheart adopted 3 lions as his royal seal in 1195. And it didn't take long for certain powerful Anglo-Norman families to follow suit. And William Disney's marriage into the Amundeville family around 1300 gave the Disney family the right to wear the emblem.
That's clearly a statement of who they saw themselves out as an important local family, the fact they adopted this symbol that was seen as strong and powerful. Been a really important part of the Disney universe at the time, you know, in terms of the fact that the ancestors were buried in this special place.
Over in Trench 1, Richard wonders if they might have hit a significant context.
The yellow layer, it's completely different to everything we've had. So I'm wondering whether we stop at this level, which is so much higher. Yeah, that's the most promising we've had so far. That looks like the sort of, almost like robber trench material you might get.
John, however, isn't convinced.
This is picked up on the radar, isn't it, John?
Yeah, but I think it's just ephemeral, modern dump. I think the potentially interesting stuff is going to be down at least 90 centimetres.
Oh, right, we've got a right distance to go then, aren't we?
There's nothing in it, is there?
No, I mean, it had that look of sort of robbed out wall, but the depths aren't right. I wasn't happy with quite how shallow it was looking, given the depths we were expecting and the depths of topsoil everywhere else. So
yeah.
I'm sort of minded to machine it away.
I think machine, yeah.
The feeling is growing that this part of the field has been heavily altered.
Well, we know that the area of the moat was bulldozed, don't we?
Yeah.
There's no reason why.
So I'm wondering whether that might have
been,
yeah, not long before.
In 1978, local farmers flattened an old earthwork and suspected moat in the adjacent field. Did that landscaping extend all the way up into the paddock next to Julia's house?
We're not getting any pottery that hints at it being anything other than relatively modern. So I think, yeah, if we're going to get down to the medieval, and this is just an ephemeral spread, we're just going to have to keep the machine going, aren't we, on this bit?
I think hit it hard.
If you're enjoying this episode, join us as a Patreon member today.
Stewart wants to look beyond the paddock and into the field next door to work out the dimensions of the lost moat and also to discover if there might have been other moats through time, and he enlists Henry to help him.
I've been having a look at this moat, the evidence for it, and it's quite clear. You can still see it in earthwork form in that field through there. In fact, you can still see, looks like there's a bit of water collecting down in the corner down there.
Yeah.
So On the LiDAR, the bit that you can see quite clearly, there's a ditch with a bank either side of it coming round here, coming up to that corner.
Yeah.
It kind of looks as if it goes on the other side of the hedge. But we've also got this low ground down in here, which runs up and round the corner.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if you cored the ditch, would it be able to help the story? To give us an idea of whether it was wet.
Yeah, I mean, if it's wet, there should be something waterlogged. You know, it should be preserved. Perhaps you should be able to tell.
Knowledge of whether these ditches are actually wet and contained and held water, or whether it's just water flowing through. If you can differentiate that, I think it's quite a critical questioning.
Much quicker than trying to excavate it, hopefully.
Well, I mean, if we can resolve whether that goes all the way round and we've just got one moat with a big moat, or whether we've got a smaller moat.
Using a drone, Stewart gives Henry a bird's eye view of the earthworks he's talking about in the neighbouring field.
That area's been filled in, but you can see that clearly on the geophysics, and you can start to see the ditch at the corner where that tree is. That's a marker for you. So if you start working your way that way, round the corner of the ditch, and then back up to the corner of the paddock there, and then through the low ground, round to this corner, and get as many points as you can, causing that'd be really helpful.
Perfect, okay, we'll give it a go.
So Henry begins his laborious journey, coring every 10 metres around the suspected perimeter of the moat. With Trench 1 on the hunt for signs of the Manor House, I want to be sure I understand exactly what that entails.
Helen, Bear, great to see you both. Hey. Now, everyone is talking about this moated medieval manor house.
Yep.
What exactly is it?
That is a really good question. and I think the thing that we've got to remind everybody at first is that it's not just a house. It's got lots and lots of rooms, but they're not under the same roof. They're separate buildings under different roofs and making up a complex. And we've got a hold of a plan of an excavated one. OK, it's from Cornwall, but it's a really good, complete set of rooms around a central courtyard. Lots of rooms all joined together. But Bear is reconstructing these and putting roofs on them. But where everybody is coming together and where you're doing your main entertaining will be in the hall, which was here at Penhallam. So yeah, that's good, isn't it? Yes, absolutely. So that's a separate range, if you like. And then we need, if we're entertaining, we need food. So we need a kitchen, rooms for baking, the bakehouse and the brew house, and more storage, the cold storage, the larder. And then lastly, at Penhallam, here we had a chapel. But we don't think that we would have had all of these at Norton Disney. For a start, there you can take away the chapel, lovely as it is, because we've got the parish church that's only just over the way, so you don't need it. And then also, I think we've got a bit more space here than they had at Penhallam. This is about 60 metres across. Ours is at least 80 metres by 60. So we can shunt our kitchen a bit further away, because if the kitchen catches fire, which they often do, you don't want it to set fire to everything.
But it would still be inside the moat, would it?
Still inside the moat, yes. Now, this doesn't mean that in 1150 or whatever, we started off with all of these elements, all in separate buildings. So as you upgrade, you build something new, and maybe as you downsize, you take it away. And we won't know what we've got yet, not until we've actually dug it up. I mean, this is just what we should be looking out for. But the kind of fixed point that we have got is a document of 1540, which gives an inventory after one of the Disney family has died, and it as part of the probate process, we have an inventory room by room.
This inventory proves that the Disneys were still living in a lavish furnished manor house in Tudor times, with canopied beds, joined furniture, fine fabrics, silverware, and an array of livestock. And the list of rooms is equally impressive.
We have a hall with a chimney, so maybe something like that. A great chamber with an inner chamber. We've got a middle chamber, which could have been at one end of the hall. A great parlour with the chimney. Well, again, that could have been in there, a nursery, and finally we've got a kiln house, which is again something to do with malting, brewing. So
really?
we've got all of these elements in 1540.
But it's quite a significant complex. We know. I mean, if those are the constituent parts that we know.
Yes.
That this is kind of quite high prestige, a wealthy family.
Because a manor is the thing that a lord controls.
Yes.
And so a manor house is the centre of the manor. They'll be coming here to pick up their rents, to eat their rents, which are mostly in the form of food, to hold a manorial court, to show themselves to the people, to do all the things that lords have to do. And all the things that lords have to do require lots and lots of rooms. We won't know what we've got here, of course, until we've actually dug it up.
But the material evidence is out there in the ground. So
Touch wood.
hopefully we can go and discover it.
Hopefully. Yes, it's got to be somewhere.
I head back to the church to join genealogist Sophie Kay, who will be digging in the archives.
I found it so intriguing today, because you come in here into the church and you get a really strong sense of the Disneys. And then in the landscape, trying to find the manor house. But in terms of the archive, are we beginning to get a sense of them?
Oh, I think we've got some great finds there, Gus. So really, over this period of time, what I'm really wanting to do is explore some of those wonderful archival documents. We've got some really good medieval material in the archives relating to the Disney family. So I think the challenge there is going to be saying, you know, how far back can we take this part of the family? Really? Can we start to understand how the Disney family in medieval times was interacting with this local area? And ultimately, how does that interaction of the people with the place start to evolve over time into the village of Norton Disney, which ultimately, of course, the family gave their name to?
How fascinating.
So I think it's going to be a case of delving in, seeing what we can understand there, and starting to tie some of those archival finds to what's hidden in the landscape. So I think seeing what's going to happen there over the next few days is going to be a really interesting thing, I think.
Walt Disney famously brought his family to the village in 1949, and it was St. Peter's Church that really captured his imagination. For a man born in Chicago, seeing his family's name carved in stone in a medieval church must have been unforgettable. And with Disney descendants spread all over the world, this village retains that pull.
And we've been joined by a number of descendants of the Disney family who are hopefully going to help us to find that medieval moated manor house over the next 3 days. Hey, so it's Simon and Jane.
That's correct, yes.
Glorious to meet you. So you're actual descendants of Disney?
Yes.
Yes,
yes. Yeah. We're cousins as well.
Oh, really?
Yes, Jane, an Australian cousin, and I'm the English cousin.
Yes.
So what's it like coming back to Norton Disney?
Yeah, we wanted to sort of be part of this.
We wanted to be part of this and connect again with the Disney family.
Yes.
And as my father always said, we are here because they were here.
I don't think there's been so many Disneys all together since the the 16th century.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's glorious to come, I mean, to this chapel.
Absolutely
and you get
amazing.
a really strong sense of this community that is really founded around this single family.
Yes, very much so.
Well, to stand there and see that this couple here are our 20th great-grandparents, it's...
Wow.
I don't know how many people... Well, I don't know anybody else apart from us that can do that. So it's you feel very grounded and you feel very connected and... I think it's pretty special.
Yes.
It is to us anyway.
Yes, but we are part of history.
Yeah.
So Simon, Jane, I mean, what are you hoping from the next couple of days?
I would love to see our Disney Manor House, something of the foundations being revealed, which will then give us a further indication of how our ancestors lived, maybe even something of how they thought, depending on what is found. But to find that would be pretty spectacular.
Yes, I'll echo that. We've seen the graves inside the chapel. We know the name, but to actually have real people in a real house. And I think I would actually like to get a spade and do a bit of digging to see if I can find something.
Be careful what you wish for.
Maybe. I don't know what will happen.
We may hold you to that.
After a long day of digging, Trench 1 is awash with finds. But are any of them medieval?
Everything that I've seen has been 17th century or later, but I keep hoping for something earlier. Have you got anything earlier?
No, I don't think we have.
So what have you got? You've got lots of
We've
stuff.
got lots of stuff. We've got lots and lots of stuff.
So
this tray comes from just at this end of the trench.
Okay.
And we have clay pipe stem fragments only.
That's a big one. It's got quite a big bore, hasn't it?
Yes, that one has.
Yeah. So there's the foot, and then the bowl would be up here.
One piece of window glass.
Oh, and is that quite late because it's got all this iridescence?
I would think so, yeah. It's very badly decayed. It would be quite hard to tell what date, really. But the decay is very common in
recent glass.
Yes, 18th, 19th centuries.
Okay.
And then we have some pottery.
Lots of different colours.
Lots of different colours, yes. Quite hard-fired, purple.
Yeah.
I think this is Cistercian type ware.
Oh, yes, these big ridges.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what... it says Cistercian ware. It always sounds like it ought to be medieval, but it's not, is it?
No, it's 15th, 17th century, and then carries on a bit as well. Black, brown, glazed earthenware, 17th to 19th century date.
All right.
And that's a bowl rim.
Yeah, so that's the bit that you'd see.
Yes.
Yeah.
This end of the trench has got some much more exciting stuff again.
Right. That's very purple, isn't it?
Yes. I think that's the base of a Cistercian typeware mug or flagon or jug, that sort of thing.
It's so shiny, that glaze, isn't it?
Very hard fired too, very hard.
Yeah.
And then we have another rim from a big, really big bowl.
Is that this black-brown stuff again?
Yes, the black-brown glazed fabric. It's quite hard to see that.
That's big, isn't it?
Yes,
like a fruit bowl.
Bigger than that, potentially. They're used in not only the kitchen, but in the dairy, in the laundry. So you may wash your clothes in it even. Oh, wow, that is a nice one. And look, it's got letters on.
Well, let's have a look.
There, and on the other side.
A T and an H. So, what kind of person? A Thomas or a...
Thomas Hunt or something like that, maybe.
That's presumably the maker, because it's cast into the surface. And there's a... Is that a line between the two halves of the mould?
I think that probably is, yes.
Yeah, you know, though, why was this one thrown away? Because it's perfectly serviceable. So it's the very well-off smoker who throws this away. But then I suppose they're always very well-off, aren't they, in the 17th century, because tobacco's so expensive?
Yes.
So everything really could have been in use in the 17th century,
Pretty much, I would think, yes.
You might almost think that we had a large 17th century manor house quite close by.
Funny that.
Over in the test pits, however, that connection with the early Disney period is finally happening.
I almost threw that in the spoil. I thought,
yeah, that potentially could be medieval.
Oh.
So with that grey, sandy kind of texture there, and it's sort of redder on the outside. In fact, looking at it, it's actually got, I think, I'm just trying to see, it is a bit of, a bit of sparkle there as well. I think that's a little bit of glaze. So it looks like a bit of glazed late medieval pottery. It's quite
So that's been dug up
thin
before
fine.
and then ended up back in the top again?
No, well, yes, yeah, absolutely. So it's all been disturbed, because obviously it's but what is that's the first bit of medieval I've seen.
Excellent.
So that's really good.
Sophie joins Disney descendant Jane to look through some of the rather impressive family history sleuthing.
So Jane, I know you have been doing your own family history for a number of years, haven't you? And I can see here in your hands you've got quite a large scroll, which I understand you've been sort of putting together over time.
So I've started with the first Disney ancestor that I know of, and it ends up with the living descendants from today, so it's quite long.
So you'd like to tell me a little bit about how you've been producing this. I can see if we carry on all the way down here. You're all the way down here, aren't you?
right at the bottom almost.
And as we all know in family history, we are not after just the bare bones of names and dates and places in a family tree. We really want to flesh it out into a more three-dimensional story, don't we?
Yes.
Of course, one of the other things I can notice straight away about this scroll that you've been putting together is the heraldic element to it. Now, I know we've talked a bit, haven't we, about I think the Disneys of Norton Disney, and indeed for the period of time when the family was at the Kingerby, I think they had a real eye for their own brand, in a sense, in terms of their heraldic emblems.
This is what I've been told is the Disney quarterings. The quarterings, it means that each one, aside from the fleur-de-lis, is the arms of their heiresses. So each coat of arms or each shield on here belonged to the wives that they married. And they were very picky in the wives that they married. So they were looking for power, control and money to keep the show on the road. And this is why it lasted for so long. So they weren't looking for just a pretty face.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, because, yeah, I would agree, Jane. Certainly what we see during the Disney family history, it's easy for us to get that hook of the male surname, isn't it?
Yes.
And assume that that's all of the story. What we see time and again in the medieval period of Disney's, and actually beyond that, is they are exceptionally good at making tactical marriages. For example, the marriage that brings the Kingerby estates into the family at the beginning of the 14th century, and various other marriages like that. So I think they were very shrewd in terms of the people that they married. And if we delve in, we can actually pick out some of the Disney-related designs. So in the 15th century, we have two designs that we would associate with Disney's. We have these three lions passants, the walking lions of the Disneys. And we also have, I can see here, you've noted these three fleur-de-lis.
Yes.
Design. That's a later Disney award that we associate with the Disneys of the 15th century.
Yes.
But certainly a lot of these speak to a family's self-image as well. So, for example, this design here that's got the little squirrels on it. Squirrels are taken symbolically in heraldry to imply sort of perseverance and diligence. So there are certain ways we can pick through and try and understand how some of these families either perceived themselves or maybe wanted themselves to be seen. So it's nice that you've been able to sort of explore the Disney women as much as the men.
Oh, the Disney women can take you down very, very long, deep rabbit holes. Get hold at one on a boring weekend, and you are amused for the entire weekend by finding out all this different stuff about them. So they're all individuals, these women that have got their own status and power in themselves.
It's been a long day for the many hard-working test pitters, with the fruits of their labour lying in the finds trays.
That's nice. Got glaze on both sides. That again, 17th, 18th, probably. That could even be a bit early. That looks late medieval.
I catch up with Carenza to find out what we've learned so far from the test pits.
A little bit hints of medieval. Most of the medieval material we've got is near the pub.
Oh, really? How interesting.
Which is just not to say that the medieval people sat all the time in the pub, but we've got two test pits that produce definite medieval material. So at the moment it's looking like a bit of a core there. And the other really interesting things that's coming out of the test pits at the moment is one of the test pits that's between the manorial site over there that we're digging and Main Street through the middle of the village. The test pit that's between that area has produced two bits of ceramic roof tile and a bit of medieval window glass.
Oh, really?
Now, only the kind of wealthier houses in the medieval period would have had clay tiled roofs, because they're expensive and you need a big, thick, solid wall to hold up a heavy clay roof. It's much heavier than a thatch roof. Critically, only churches or manor houses really had glazed windows. So the fact we've got this little bit of medieval window glass from the area between the suspected manorial site and the street is just hinting at the possibility that the manorial site actually went all the way to the street.
Just a single find can raise those sorts of questions and suddenly a hypothesis about the kind of manor house. So the high status buildings on this side of the street, and then there would have then been kind of more sort of lower status.
That's a current emerging hypothesis. I wouldn't say we come up with a conclusion.
So, what lies ahead for tomorrow? I catch up with the team.
So Richard, John, you've been busy since this morning.
Hello. Yeah, it's a bit different, isn't it, now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got, you saw that we put the single trench in with little causeways between it, and we're trying to pick up either ditch or moat and structure was what we really wanted to find.
Medieval structure.
Medieval structure, yeah, I'm glad you added that last bit because we're not there yet. We're not there yet. I think the most interesting bit, you can see there's a dump of brick and stone, maybe demolished building. The key thing, if we're looking for medieval, it's possibly going to be below that. We found lots of nice clay pipe stems and clay pipe bowls. We might be into the 17th century.
Oh, okay.
We're not into the medieval in this bit.
Early days.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. So tomorrow we...
I hope so, yeah. Tomorrow, we'll go below that level of demolition and destruction. We'll do some more work in this one. I think there's maybe some more clues in this trench. And then after that, we will open up trench number 2.
Oh, wow. So, John, where's trench 2 going to go?
That's going to go on some more anomalies we've got over there, also some interesting earthworks, and like this, it's going to come up with the goods.
Medieval? I'm going to hold you to it.
It's going to come up with the goods.
And Carenza, some test pits?
Well, the test pits have produced a bit of medieval, a few bits, but apparently more than the
More than
trenches
we've got,
have
that's
so
for sure.
far.
Yeah.
She's delivering. Come on, guys.
Interestingly, the test pits for the medieval seem to be clustered around the pub, which of course just over there a little bit. But what I really wanted to really get a decision on is we've got another 50 volunteers coming tomorrow on top of the ones we've had today. So we could have anything between about 6 and 8 pits. Where would you like them?
I can give you lots of targets. Might not be medieval, but lots of targets.
My urge, if you like, is to go into Julia's garden. 2 or 4 test pits in, we could sort of put them orientated so that if we wanted to join the 2 up and make a little slot trench, hand-dug, metre-wide slot trench, we could do
garden.
that.
Is Julia okay?
I have had a word with her.
Okay,
No, she's really happy, actually, which is amazing. Would that be...
I think that would work really well. I mean, because if we're not getting yet the medieval in here, then I think, yes, that's got to be an option we explore, is that it hasn't actually come out as far as this, and it's maybe closer to the existing structure.
And we could,
Gus, this might be of interest that I've just found on the soil.
Gorgeous thing.
Wow.
So what's that? I mean, can you give me a sense of...
Well, I need Helen to have a look at that, really, but I mean, it's obviously a little fleur-de-lis thing that's been sewn on to someone's dress or uniform or something, whether that's military or... I mean, it looks like it's been fixed onto something else here, but those loops look like it's been sewn onto something.
It's a beautiful
the great thing
thing,
is,
isn't it?
it's the fleur-de-lis, which is on the Disney insignia.
Of course.
So actually, and we're right at the end of the Disney era, so that's the closest we've got to them, something I might actually have handled. It's definitely a high status thing.
It's great to get the end of day 1, maybe we've got some link to Disney.
OK, fantastic. But day 2, the promise of medieval.
I can feel the pressure, guys. Medieval. We'll go for 17th century and some medieval after that. I'm stressed now. Are you?
I think it's pub time.
If you love what we do, become a Time Team member today. You'll get behind-the-scenes footage, ad-free viewing, and special masterclasses with the team. We'd love to have you on board.
Good morning. What a gorgeous start to our second day here at Norton Disney in Lincolnshire. And there's already activity in the test pits. Hi, guys.
Yesterday we opened our first trench in the paddock and found a beautiful fleur-de-lis featured in the Disney coat of arms, and also a dozen test pits in front and back gardens throughout the village, which turned up our first sherds of medieval pottery.
But I'm off to our main trench to see what's happening there.
Day 2 in Norton Disney, and Trench 1 continues to go laboriously down. The big decision this morning is where to put Trench 2. And a site has been chosen in the paddock around 40 metres to the south of Trench 1, alongside Julia's horses.
Are you happy now?
He did say that, didn't he?
Pretend I'm a bucket.
Well, we're thinking it at the moment, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you good with that? Right. Let's mark out trench 2 then.
A long, narrow trench here will cross an intriguing anomaly in John's geophys, and also an earthwork feature that Stewart would like to investigate.
John,
Morning,
shut the machine
chaps.
down.
Morning.
How are you? Have you found my moated medieval manor house yet?
We're getting there, we're getting there.
But a second trench. And why here as well?
Well, we've gone partly with the geophysics, but mainly with Stewart's earthworks. So what we're doing, we're putting the trench along this line. We think we've got a small curving ditch in trench 1 that comes all the way round and will come through this trench at this point here. There's also the question of whether Stewart's got a bigger ditch underneath this bank, and so the trench is going to answer 2 questions.
But the critical question, where's my manor house?
Your manor house is definitely going to be within this smaller ring.
I see. So that's over here.
there.
Yes. So we should begin to get a bit of clarity, both about what was here, but also from some of the finds.
I think
when?
so. It's looking good at the moment. It's looking good at the moment.
So we've got a bit of a distance to go with the machine to take it back. And once that's all cleared up, then we can really start getting into these features and hopefully get you some phasing.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, that's really hopeful.
Yeah, we'll hopefully be well within the sort of later medieval in this area.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Hear the word medieval.
I've learnt from the
I'm going to hold you to that.
Meanwhile, yesterday's test pits are back up and running, with volunteers digging deeper and deeper. But Carenza wants more. She specifically wants to target Julia's garden, where she suspects they will find any remains of the medieval manor house within the smallest of the enclosures identified by Stewart. But more test pits means more diggers, and once again the village hall is a flurry of activity.
It's chaos, Penny. How are you doing? You've got your clipboard, you're looking very efficient. Clipboard, we've got the new test bits marked on there, and we're just getting everyone to come forward, pick up their lanyards, register, and then we'll talk and off they go.
While the entire team is busy across the length and the breadth of the village, Henry continues his mission to core along the length of the suspected moat over in the field. Meanwhile, Stewart is up in the village looking for the other end of the same feature.
I'm currently wandering down the road to the church, and this seems to be the former edge of the manorial complex on the eastern side. I mean, now it's got modern houses built all over it, but the boundary at the front and the rise in the earthwork there at the side, this is all where the original boundary of the manorial complex would be. And I think, in fact, if I step back, you can see the site of the modern manor house just in the gap over there. You can see how far away, so you get an idea of how big the complex is from this perspective. But originally it probably had a wall around the edge of it. So carrying on my journey down towards the church. Further down, I've just been looking at some of the stones here in a rockery, and this looks rather interesting down here. What I've actually got, it looks like the top of a column or a pillar, the sort of thing. It's called a capital. It's usually the top or the bottom of a column, and there's a broken bit just sitting in the rockery here.
Stewart's not the only member of the team on Church Drive. Lawrence, Harry and Bear head to the church to survey.
Right, chaps, here we are. It's fantastic,
It's a lovely building, isn't it? So what we want to do, we've got a two-pronged attack. Harry, I was hoping you might be able to do a 3D survey of the church.
Yep.
And the exterior.
Yeah, all the way around the outside, roof,
yeah,
walls, and those gargoyles.
That would be amazing. Do you think you can get some detail on the
Yeah,
gargoyles?
we can take it from below, horizontal, and then above as well. So then give those images to Bear and work his magic.
Okay, fantastic. And then Bear, there's some amazing stuff in there, the tombs and some detailed features. It would be great if we could get some photogrammetry of those as well.
Ready to go.
Okay.
While Bear and Harry record the fabric of the building, Lawrence finds out more about the tombs.
We have a number of members of the 14th century Disney family of Norton Disney.
Wow, fantastic.
In particular, this magnificent fellow, who is one of the many William Disneys of the period.
Okay.
You probably can see we've got an awful lot to look at in the stonework here, because what we actually have during this period of the 14th century is, as you can see here, a lot of heraldry. And what is really jumping out to you about when you come to this particular
I love this big shield with the lions.
Absolutely, and you can see it's scattered around. You'll see those 3 lions appearing all over these different tombs, including this lady here, who's actually called Hortensia. So she is both the daughter of a William Disney and the sister of a William Disney. We have an awful lot of Williams in this part of the family tree, and we can pick up the shields down this side from her paternal line. But of course, on the other side of her tomb, we can also see some of those shield designs from her maternal side. So we're able to piece together both the maternal and paternal lines of the Disney family tree that way. I think we can see why when Walt Disney came here to explore in 1949, this was one of the things that drew his eye. I think as someone with a really artistic sense of the world, he came in and his eye alighted on this.
So those lines and that image is so important even today for that Disney brand. Can we tie this to Walt? I mean, he obviously was taken by it, but is there a direct link that we can draw to Walt from this?
Oh, that is a really, really interesting question, Lauren. So as it happens, if we explore Walt's own Disney line, we can confidently take that back to Ireland, back to counties Carlow and Kilkenny. And once we get to that point, at the moment, the trail sort of goes cold. It may well be that ultimately he is connected to these Norton Disneys, or possibly there could be another story. So you may be aware, originally, the Disney name is actually effectively a contraction of Dissigny. So there's a place called Isigny in France, and it's believed that one or more individuals came over from Isigny to the British Isles, and they become known as the des Isignies, the person from Isigny. And over time, that gets changed into Disney in its recognisable form now. So I think there are a lot of really interesting unanswered questions about maybe where Walt might fit into this picture. But for me, what's undeniable is that iconography that Walt came in here and connected with. He actually took inspiration from this. If you look at some elements of Sleeping Beauty's castle, these lions actually appear there as well. So it certainly had an undeniable influence on Walt from an artistic perspective.
And Disney descendants Jane and Simon joined their cousin Sarah on a road trip looking for more Disneys in the wider landscape. They're driving 40 miles across Lincolnshire to Kingerby, another manor once lorded over by the Disneys.
A feel of oldness.
It's, yeah.
That tower looks like...
And there are more family tombs inside the historic church.
Right, let's see if it's open. Just be my luck coming all the way from Australia, and the thing is, I can't get in.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
There's obviously a neck.
Yeah, there obviously is. Oh, wow. Ooh.
Back on site, work is well underway in Julia's garden.
So we've got 4 test pits opened up here, which is in the garden of Manor House. And we've got another one over in the corner there, and that's really close, of course, to the trenches that we've got in the paddocks around Manor House. I have this feeling that you can see it's a bit of a raised platform. You can see beyond where 21 is there, the ground drops away a bit, and this square garden feels like it might be where some of the manorial centre of activity might have been. And then in this corner, we've got the 4th test pit in the garden, and both this test pit and the other one there have been sited to line up with the edge of the existing Manor House building, kind of under the theory that if there's a range of buildings or an enclosure wall going straight line, we might hit that here, and the ground level's a bit more raised here. And in fact, we've actually got some stone coming up in here, haven't we, Matt?
We have. We've found a couple of bigger pieces of stone in our first 10 centimetres, which is quite exciting. We managed to find, if you look behind you in the finds tray, there is a bit of limestone with a fossil in it, and what looks to be a couple of pieces of glazed pottery, maybe.
So yeah, the pottery, I think that's Victorian, so it's nice to know you're picking up small detail. Hi there, how are you getting on?
Doing all right, actually. We found a few bits in the tray here that's been it's been washed and cleaned.
Excellent. It's so much easier to see what's going on when they've been washed. So you've got some sort of 19th century pottery coming up, which is sort of what we'd expect. That's a bit of roof tile out. You can see it's been mortared in. That's a really nice bit of roof tile. It's definitely handmade, and you can see it's early because it's not oxidised all the way through. It's got that dark band in the middle. So that could easily be medieval. Certainly it's 16th, 17th century at the latest. So looks like we're getting building remains again, and probably medieval stuff as well. And the priority is to get further down and see if we can get earlier deposits as we get further down.
Definitely, yeah.
Brilliant.
Trench 2 is descending rapidly through dark soil and is already producing what Richard suspects is demolition rubble.
See, that's much more what we were getting over there, but it's a big piece.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
But one find might offer a tantalising date.
Oh, jug handle. No, it is.
There you go. Nice.
That's nice.
That's good, isn't it?
It's all part of the
And that's
same
going to fit.
vessel, isn't it?
Yeah, looks like it. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, perfect.
That's just come on from where we are now. It's the level we want to be at. I think that's right at the top of your anomaly,
Well,
isn't it?
and it's just where the ridge is starting to come up.
Great.
So this is the area that things might start to happen.
Medieval, I reckon.
Oh, no, you put your marker down. I would just stay with pot. It's safe.
Medieval written all over it.
Meanwhile, Chris and Hilda are beginning to make sense of what's going on in Trench 1.
Chris? Well, I know it's been a while since we've seen you, but
yeah,
what's happened?
Well, I've gone looking for this this big linear anomaly that John predicted would be here, and it has turned out to be a fairly deep ditch.
Fantastic.
Yeah, you were on the money for once.
I mean, that's really good, but have we got anything to say what sort of date it is?
Well, yes. We have this piece of pot, Matt.
Oh!
From a small jug.
What sort of period is that?
It's probably 13th century.
13th. Oh!
Absolutely.
Look at that. Well done. Congratulations. This sherd is the earliest find so far and takes the story back to the early Disney period.
And back. Okay. Foot on it, push it under. And then lift it. Okay, that's it, lift it. It is heavy. Well, lift it, lift it. Good girl.
The test pits in Julia's garden are quickly throwing up a lot of pottery, some of it early.
Jane looked at the pottery. She said some of it, like this, with the brown glaze, is 16th century.
Wow.
But then we've got medieval tiles, so it's quite a mixture of things now.
All right, just dig it. That's what I think, actually.
Yeah.
Those could be part of the same pot.
Yeah, quite.
We've had, from the beginning, we've had a few. We've had quite a bit of pottery and a lot of building stuff, and we found a medieval roof tile on our first layer, so we were very happy.
And the search is extending to the other side of the hedge in Julia's garden.
So we've just walked into the paddock behind the manor house, and I've seen that there's another test pit open, which wasn't here when I last came round. Beautiful little curled bit of glass.
There must be some glass working or something. That's yeah.
Does it look a bit more structured than it?
No.
Well, that looks like waste because there's a little bubble there, and it's going into nothing. So it's glass production.
Yeah, and it's green, so it's probably window glass. So it wouldn't be decorative.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. 'Cause
How
we've got
interesting.
Some nice chunky stone here.
Yeah.
We've got some probably roof tiles
Mhm.
or broken bricks here. We found a few of these, and because they're quite flat, we think roof tile.
Yeah.
And then, just as we were recording the first layer, or the first content, we've oh, there you go. Yeah.
All right.
That's charcoal.
Oh, it is
isn't
charcoal. Yep, exactly. Nice. Well, we'll keep that. We don't always keep charcoal. Sometimes if we just do a sample, it will come up when we wet sieve. So we'll keep this because it's quite big, and then the fines processing team will decide whether we want to keep it in the end. But we'll definitely pop that in the fines tray. That's really nice.
Excellent.
And so you're on to your second context now?
We're just finishing recording the first context.
Yep. Ah, this is really cool.
I'm very excited about this.
Yeah, I didn't expect you to find such cool stuff so close to the surface.
Only 6 feet to go.
All of the demolition material coming out of the trenches and the test pits surrounding Julia's house suggests that Carenza's hunch could be right, and the older manor house is lost under the newer building. But could some of that earlier building material have been recycled? I joined the buildings historian James Wright to have a closer look.
I'm suffering a bit of real estate envy, and this is such a gorgeous house. It's not our medieval moated manor house, but are there any sort of architectural clues as to something earlier?
Looking at this, looking at the fabric, having a look at the bricks, the stonework, the windows, the plan of the thing, this looks to be something quite a bit later, well into the post-medieval period, late 17th, 18th century, something like that. There's also potentially some earlier stuff lurking within that. And then we'll have a look. If you look up in the gable there, can you see just below the chimney, there's a little square stone that's slightly lighter in colour, and it's got some lettering on it. It's got WD, and underneath it says 1625.
The building looks sort of Georgian or something.
Yeah, so that's a date stone, which is, what, a century, 100 years older than the building. And it's a piece of portable material. They've obviously liked it. It's reasonably significant to them, so they've kept it from another structure.
So what is that? What are we looking at here?
So it's actually a piece of drain. If you imagine this high up in a structure, this is where you've got water flowing down there.
So it would have been flipped?
Yeah, it's flipped 90 degrees, and then there's a lead pipe coming out of this circular aperture, and it's throwing water off, but it's from high up in a big stone building. We're talking something like a manor house, church, something really monumental, something really significant, something really important.
Because the idea of supporting something of this scale, obviously if it's up high, it's going to need to be supported.
Yeah.
And it gives a sense of really quite sophisticated engineering. So a significant building of some level of prestige.
Yeah, and it's built of stone as well. So it's stone all the way up. As you say, there's been a lot of money thrown at this structure. So if we come in through here, pull the door to, this is the dining room. And in the dining room of the house, which is, as we know, 18th century, something like that, this panelling isn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this panelling's from an older building.
How fascinating.
Yeah, so you see how it's quite small?
Yes.
It's not one of those big panels.
Yeah.
It's square, but it's slightly elongated.
Yes.
And it's got mouldings running here and here, but there isn't a moulding there, this dust ledge. All of this really does shout something of the period of William Shakespeare.
Oh, really?
So the second half of the 16th, first half of the 17th century. So roughly contemporary with that date stone we've seen outside.
How fascinating.
There's other clues here as well, in that the panelling doesn't quite fit with the room.
Yes.
So it's got certain elements that have been inserted to space it out a little bit. And then these burn marks up at the top here.
Oh, there's a candle.
Yeah, well, it used to be thought that these were unattended candles, but these are actually marks to drive away witches, demons, evil spirits, the things that go bump in the night.
Oh, wow.
And this is the sort of thing we would expect to find in the late medieval, early modern period. But by the time of the construction of this house, science and reason have come in, and they start to disappear. So again, this is evidence of this being from that earlier age.
How wonderful, how glorious.
If you're enjoying this episode, join us as a Patreon member today.
With the sun out on a Saturday afternoon, there's a real buzz about the village.
Walking along this high street, you really get a sense of the community here. We've just come from a test pit over there. We've got test pits here and in the back garden over there. We're just about to come up to another test pit here. And it's such a nice atmosphere. We're walking past people, waving, saying hello, catching up. It's so lovely for the community. And not only do these test pits tell us about the density of occupation in this area, but it also feeds into our national understanding of what is happening at this time.
Test Pit 15, one of today's new test pits, across the road from the Manor House site, has come down straight onto fragments of roof tile and window glass.
It's interesting because it looks like we've got a demolition layer here. So anything that's below that demolition layer will be earlier than demolition. So we know we've got the 1625 house, so it's probable this is the demolition from that, because obviously the one that replaced it is still standing. So this is either demolition of the 1625 house or the earlier one. And so we really need to know what stuff underneath. So the stuff underneath it is going to be 16th century or earlier at the latest.
Cool. And finds from the other test pits are taking us back into the early Disney period.
Hi, Joe. Hi, Jane.
Hi.
Hello. Okay, well, this is looking exciting. There's a lot of things here, aren't there?
It is. It's a really busy trench. This tray here, it's mostly early modern, but the earliest stuff's 18th century. And when we get into this tray, this is really quite exciting. It has these Staffordshire type slipwares, beautiful vessels with decoration on them, rather like the top of a Bakewell tart. But this is the prize. This is a sherd of German stoneware, probably Frecken type, from a small drinking jug that would belong to the second half of the 16th or probably the first half of the 17th century. So it's exciting because it might have had a face on the top. Beautiful decoration on it. Better than mine is the style that they have this face with a beard on it. And this lovely little sherd here, which would be probably from a small jug of late 12th or 13th century date. So,
sorry, 12th, 13th?
Late 12th or 13th, yes.
Whoa. Okay, hang on a minute. So we've jumped from the 1550s back to the 1180s onwards.
To the end of the 1200s.
So we're back at the time when the Disneys were here.
Yes.
This is what we've been looking for.
It's a good start. A good so that we're going lower down now. We're getting through the topsoil into the lower deposits, and we've had that glimmer there. So we're going to really hope that we're going to come down. We're going to find some more of that.
And Test Pit 10, behind the pub, pushes our timeline even further back.
Amy.
Oh,
hi. Tim.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hiya.
How's it going?
Yeah. It's great, yeah. It's exciting stuff coming out of the test pit. Well, exciting to us all anyway.
Because I heard there was something particularly special,
well,
not just exciting.
We have found this little piece here, which you believe is a bit of Viking pottery. It's found by Amy here.
Wow.
So close to the surface as well. In the first context, we were quite surprised when it came out because we think we've been told it's the oldest piece so far we've found in the whole of the village.
So do we know what this is?
Well, we've been told by the specialists because we're not sure ourselves, but we've been told it's mid-10th to 11th century Torksey ware. So it's known to be sort of Viking pottery.
So this predates the medieval, the manor that we've been actually kind of trying to look for.
It's earlier than we were expecting anything to come out of the test pit.
Before any of the known history for the village we found, because the recordings only really start with the Disney family coming in with a known record. So to find something from beforehand, we know nothing about the people that could have been using this ware.
Yes. So it's interesting, just as we begin to get some real answers, this site, it throws up a few more additional questions.
Even Stewart is getting in on the test pit action.
This is where the wall would be around the edge of the manorial complex, and obviously the modern houses have been built over that.
Interrupt you just for a moment.
I'm being interrupted for a moment, yes.
We're just in test pit 3 and we found what could be quite an interesting little sample of what looks like cobbled surfaces. Would you come and have a look?
I think we should go and take a look, don't you? Yeah. What's of you?
Just in the very corner of the test pit, there's what appears to be quite a distinct grouped line of stones.
I gather you've got something interesting you'd like to show me.
Yeah, we show that as well, if you don't mind. We've got the edge running down here.
Yeah.
and we've also believed it's a bit of an animal bone that's
Right.
resting on top.
Well, I'm definitely not. I'm not a bone man, so I can't tell you much about the bone. But I get more excited by the cobbles here. I mean, I suspect that's animal bone lying on the top of the cobbles, but these cobbles, this is definitely a deliberately laid surface, isn't it?
Yes.
You wouldn't believe how relevant this is. I was just walking down here, looking at elements of the manorial complex and its boundaries, and what I was looking at on the other side of your hedge not long ago is a feature that I was wanting to see where it ended up, and just bizarrely the two have come together when I'm walking down the lane. This is magic, because on the other side of the hedge is a causeway which is heading into this garden from the manor area, heading straight to the church. So this...
Could that be the causeway?
You said it. I would say, could it be the causeway? I would say, given its alignment, what I've been looking at on the other side, I would say very, very likely.
If he's right, then this causeway would once have run from the lost manor house across the suspected moat or ditch to the church. The discovery of this causeway is further confirmation that the long-lost manor complex must have been somewhere in proximity to Julia's house. 40 miles away, our Disney descendants are making sense of their ancestors in the sister church in Kingerby.
No, when did the Disney tallness come into it?
Well, I think there's his legs on there.
Oh.
If somebody without legs.
My goodness me, he looks a bit like a Crusader knight, doesn't he?
Yes.
So I think this is William.
So you think that's William?
I think that's William. He might be our 17th great-grandfather.
Right.
But I'm not 100%.
But Kingerby is the lost twin of the Disney story, because everybody focuses on Norton Disney because of the Disney in the name of the village. Yeah. But the Disneys were here for a very, very long time because it's a key part of their estate. Their focus was here for a couple of hundred years at least.
So what have you found that's really sort of hit home for you? What's your experience been of kind of connecting with this ancestral space in the church here?
It's a couple of things, really. It's actually looking at these effigies. They've been there for all this time, for 700 odd years. But now this brings them more to life because you see the visual representation of them in there. So then you can then remember more about them when you do research them and perhaps understand. They become more tangible, they become more real, and they become more human.
We're not after the names and dates and places alone, are we? Yes, that's the skeleton that we hang things off. But I think what we're really looking to do is flesh out that into a family history that feels so real, so three-dimensional, you could almost reach out and touch it.
The story has changed for us as well. What we were told as children by our parents, our grandparents, what they were told has changed because of what we have learnt. So that we've got, I've almost got more questions now to dive down into that endless rabbit hole, so that when I return home, it's given me a lot of food for thought.
It's been one of the best afternoons of my life.
Oh,
I'm
this
so
is amazing,
moved by the statue in there. I'm just blown away by it. It's just been the most extraordinary experience.
Do we need a Disney family hug at this point, I think?
We are.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So glad to have been part of this with you as well. Oh, fantastic.
And in the fields behind Kingerby Church, there is one last surprise for the family.
In the Lincolnshire archives, there is this property deed type document from the period, 1386. And in it, we have the very first reference to Disneyland. There is definitely Disneyland, and you have claim to it full stop.
Back in Norton Disney, Trench 2 has drawn a blank on John's ditch-like feature.
You remember when we were last here, you saw that nice piece of pottery, the three sherds are joined together. Well, we've moved the trench back a bit, and I'd like a bit of advice, really, because you can see the depth I've left it at with the machine, And there's bits of pottery, well, bits of tile and animal bone. So we're not at the natural level. I was not sure about where the natural was, so I've sunk a sondage with the machine to where I think the natural is. And that's deep, and I'm not seeing any cut archaeological features at all.
And that's really interesting in the fact that there isn't a big ditch here.
Yeah.
By the look of it, you're down onto natural.
Yeah.
And what we've got, all the evidence we've got is up here, so
we're not going to go any further that way, but I'd like to enlarge it a little bit here to widen the trench out and concentrate on features that I do think we have.
So you wouldn't believe the fact the geophysics said there's no ditch. He wanted the ground truth.
There is stuff up here, and I'd quite like to extend the trench and open it up a bit more and see if the ditch that we've got in trench 1 that we think continues here, I'd like to kind of just confirm that.
Yeah, we've got to.
Yeah.
I think the ditch is more here, to be honest.
Okay, so.
Well, if you can cover the John's ditch and cover this ridge, this platform area here, then we get a sample of both.
Okay, so that's a fair amount of work to do, but it's achievable. Okay, I'm happy we do that.
So trench 2 is to be widened in the hope that it will prove continuity with the ditch in trench 1. Over on Main Street, Carenza and the building's historian James Wright are looking through the finds trays of Test Pit 15.
So what is intriguing me is the fact that we seem to be getting this high status stuff this side of the road. So we've got this bit of glass, which is beautiful, and I was a bit worried it might be Roman at one point because it has that bluey green colour to it.
Yeah.
But Helen looked at that and said she thought it might be window glass, and there's been a bit of lead came from here, so that feels sort of high status.
And again, structural. Looking at windows in that period, that's fairly unusual, really. You know, most people have just got shuttering or screens.
Another bit of what looks like sort of medieval window glass. That's not coloured. Yeah. And then there's this little buckle here. And that could be medieval to me. What do you think?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that as well because I was. Do you know the museum at Bosworth Battlefield?
Yes. Yeah.
And this looks exactly like some of those buckles that turned up on that side. And of course, they're in a reasonably securely dated context, because the battle happened in 1485. They're almost
could be the same. Yeah,
it could be from the same manufacturer almost, you know, but from the same period, the same design, with these kind of double D shapes there with the straight bar between, and you know, this is exactly what you might be expecting sort of around 1500.
There's a feeling that there's some slightly higher status than average going on here. Do you think?
Yeah, particularly with the window glass. This isn't
that bit of lead cane that goes with it.
This isn't common. This is manor houses and churches and the like. It's not your average house at all. So we're looking at something slightly special, slightly posh.
It's all getting a bit intriguing, isn't it?
It's all right over here. It's all right being a Disney.
As the day draws to a close, progress is made in trench 2.
Right, let's see. Oh.
Yeah, that's
look at that. Nice.
Yeah.
Coming along nice and straight. Good. Well, that's a good result.
It certainly is.
Right, well, let's get greedy and see if it keeps going here as well. That's worth doing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
That's great. Can you see that? Look. Got the orange here, which I think coming to the natural.
Yeah, I can see that going through.
It's coming up here. And still going over here. And there's a much darker soil, isn't there?
Yeah,
coming
definitely.
All the way along there.
Really clear along there.
So I think...
This side is coming along this way, isn't it?
So we have got it.
Through here.
It's still here, isn't it?
Yeah, all the way down through there.
So it's still all the way along here. And we've got the other side here, haven't we?
Yes.
So it's quite a narrow ditch.
Not huge, no.
But it's a feature anyway. It's definitely worth...
Definitely a feature.
Exploring.
Back in trench 1, Hilda has made a hair-raising discovery.
Hey Hilda, how are you doing? I hear you've got something interesting.
Yeah, so I'm just clearing out some of this rubble where we've had a lot of kind of 17th, maybe slightly earlier pipe heads and a lot of brick and stone, but just come across this comb, which is pretty amazing.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
I think it's made of bone, but it'd be great for you to have a look at it.
Oh, look at that. Do you want to pop it into, just in case it's fragile? Oh wow, look at this. That's great, isn't it? So it's obviously bone, and we can see that it's fragmented, so this probably would have been a little bit, at least a little bit longer. And you can see the two sizes here are different. On one side, so we've got a double comb. On this side, they're quite larger. On this side, they're teeny, teeny, tiny, and very likely to have been used as a knit comb. So the tiny teeth will hopefully drag out the nits or lice.
A bunch of smokers with nits in this trench.
We're not painting an amazing picture, are we?
So from the shape, would you be able to tell how old it is?
Well, given that we're finding a lot of 17th century stuff here, I'd be happy with that date.
Maybe slightly earlier, but the pipe head seems to suggest around that time. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant.
It's my first ever bone comb.
Oh,
I'm very excited.
Oh, brilliant.
Meanwhile, Stewart joins Henry over the hedge to find out if it's truly a moat.
Well, I finally made it, yeah. I was here on your own, eh? How are you getting on?
You know what, we've got some great results. Really good.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, I don't often say that. Well, I thought rather than just look at the moats themselves, I look at the whole field. So I've been taking cores every 10 metres from here all the way up to the end of the field and then along the field boundary. So effectively trying to cross both the southern moat and the eastern moat as well. So I've sort of covered the site in 2 transects.
Okay.
But what I found is basically I've gone across a river channel down here, which is the bottom, and the floodplain, then cut the moat here, gone into the interior, then gone across that second side, the eastern side of the moat there.
Yeah, I've been busy, haven't you?
So, and the beauty is it's all very, very visible just by colour, because the different sorts of environments they're all different. So out here you can see how grey this is. This is this sort of that floodplain environment, just it's almost the natural outside of here, but sort of within that floodplain. But as we start moving on, you'll start seeing some changes. And now we're getting into something different again. I mean, we're right in one of the channels. This loads of gravel, quite orange, quite different to the grey over there.
Yeah. Okay.
So keep that in mind because colour's going to be important. But I think this is kind of characteristic of the river kind of environment, the wet environment.
Okay.
I've gone every 10 metres.
So you've taken them every 10 metres long, have you?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
So here it changes a little bit. It's similar, but there's a lot of gravel, and I think that we're much more into the channel of that river.
Orangey sandy, isn't it?
A bit more orangey. So we come out that channel, look, we're grey again.
Yeah.
So we're back very similar to the other side. It's really
so you've
sandy.
got the river channel braid in that area there.
And that's what the earthwork is, yeah.
All right. I like this. I can understand colour, Henry.
It's grey again, so yeah, we're still in that, still there.
So we're now coming into the earthwork, which is seen as the moat. We're in the ditch.
Well, it's marked by the edge, which is orange, and then look here, we're in the moat. It couldn't be more different. Look, it's black.
It's very black, isn't it?
And this is incredibly peaty. It's quite sandy still, but it's peaty material. I mean, this is where water's been standing, stagnant, not flowing, for a long time.
Absolutely brilliant, that, isn't it? So how deep is that then, Henry?
That's going down to 2 metres at the base.
And in archaeological terms, we call that a moat.
And there's more progress in Trench 2.
So have you solved it?
I think we've got some answers for you, yeah. We've got something you weren't possibly expecting, which is a drainage ditch, maybe, coming in this direction.
Right.
You see that? But we're looking for your big ditch feature, and I think where we are standing at the moment, where Harry and Rachel is, I think they're right in the ditch where you were predicting.
That black soil going through the middle.
Yeah, you can see there's a yellow soil just in front of Rachel, and then it comes about, I don't know, 2 metres?
Yeah, about 2 metres, just over.
It's difficult in this light, but I can see that.
Yeah, it kind of ends up out there, and we've got the that other narrow ditch coming through, and they're kind of intersecting, but it's all a bit vague at the minute.
It is.
But what are all the stones in the section?
Well, we've been calling that hogging, and I think that's possibly where the ditch has slumped at some point and maybe retained water, that this is the solution to that problem, and they put down bits of stone rubbling just to make a path to kind of give it a more stable platform. That's what we're thinking.
Yeah.
Works for me. Trouble is, the light is so low, so it's getting a little bit hard to spot, isn't it? So, do you reckon that's time for the day? Call it a day, come back tomorrow?
Yeah.
And it's time to wrap up digging in Trench 1.
So what have you got, Hilda?
So from this ditch we've had an interesting variety of finds. We've got this probable whetstone for sharpening blades.
And how would we have known that this is a whetstone rather than just a stone?
So you can see some marks where it would have been used to, but basically there's wear marks. So I wasn't too convinced, that I showed it to Danny, who was pretty positive that it's a whetstone. So that's from the ditch. We've also got, which was a bit of a surprise, some Roman Samian ware. So I showed it to Rachel, she said it was 1st, 2nd century.
It seems to turn up at every single time team, doesn't it, Sammy?
Well, it's hard to miss, I suppose. It won't end up on the spoil heap. And then we've got this piece as well.
Jane,
Wow.
what is that?
It's a ware called Potter Hamworth ware, and it's made outside of Lincoln in a village called Potter Hamworth, and they're making it from the 13th to the end of the 15th century.
Amazing.
And it's tempered with fossil shell, the white bits, the fossil shell. And it's common in Newark and Nottingham.
So that's the rim, is it?
That's the rim. It would have been a bowl about this big
large
and
vessel.
probably about that deep.
And what would it have been used for, Jane?
Almost everything, sort of your baking, or they're turned upside down sometimes to cover a fire at night. They're used for a variety of cooking, washing the baby, just about everything, that piece.
How wonderful. So this is right in the middle of our period, isn't
Yes,
it?
bang in the period,
And
yes.
this is a sort of domestic piece.
It's a domestic in the kitchen piece,
Yeah.
yes.
With the sun over the yard arm, the team meet up on Main Street.
So end of day 2. I mean, how's it gone? How have you got on? I mean, John, in terms of that inner closure.
I'm pretty happy. A ditch that seems to go all the way around the manor. Well, we've got it in 2 trenches, and I've got a pint.
And Henry and Stewart, you went on a kind of a longer walk around what looks like a bigger enclosure.
Yeah, it's been a great day, Gus. I've been coring right across the field to the south, trying to find the actual ditches of the motor site, and I found them both and more. And what's really wonderful about it is they're both wet. They both held water. They both have organic sediment in them. So yeah, it's really good.
But that's a huge expanse of space, isn't it?
It is. I mean, that it's really illuminating what Henry's done this afternoon to show that the ditch enclosure on that side held water. It's a big area within it, and you see that going through the village as well. The boundaries going up Church Lane and up to the road up here. So we've seen a change from the smaller enclosure that John's got on the top around the Manor House to suddenly, whoa, we're going to put a great big one in. It's showing us change from the early days of the occupation here right through its life to when eventually the Disneys leave. We've got a really quite grand, elaborate manorial complex.
Wow. And what are the finds like, Carenza, that are coming
Well,
out?
from the test bits, we've got the earlier sort of pre-Norman evidence, actually from the pub, well, obviously it wasn't the pub then, but from this area, so that smaller enclosure, if that's pre-Norman, then we've got settlement outside it as well. We've got Norman period stuff, and then we've got some really nice little bits and pieces in the kind of heyday. We've got glass from the windows, we've got leaded window bits, we've got a lovely little buckle dating to about, well, exactly the same as ones from the Battle of Bosworth, so 1485, so kind of the heyday. And then we've got the stuff from after the Disney period, if you like, into the 18th century, all up and down Main Street. We've got some real puzzles that we're still trying to get our heads around. That'll be tomorrow.
Fantastic. Richard? Well, John wanted some dating evidence, and we've got it. We've got it. From the ditch in Trench 1, we've got 13th century pottery.
Amazing.
So absolutely perfect. But we've also got a piece of Roman pottery. So we've got some really old stuff. So yeah, really old stuff as well. But they're great. The finds have been really interesting in Trench 1, and I hope Trench 2 will be the same tomorrow.
Yeah, and I've spent ages trying to sort out this little thing, which we thought was a coin, but it had a shield on it, which was all kind of wrong. And also, it's not silver. Now, you'd expect the Disney Manor to be full of silver coins, wouldn't you? Not these funny little copper alloy things. And it's actually a 17th century trading token that was issued in Newark, so a long way away. And this would have been paid in change to somebody. It was issued by a mercer, where you might have gone to buy some cloth. And this is the kind of thing that isn't used by people who have a grand manor. It isn't used by the lords of the manor. It's used by perfectly ordinary people. And it dates to the second half of the 17th century. So this is after the Disneys. It's back to normal. This is a normal village find from a normal village.
Gosh, what a lovely... I mean, this is such a rich story, and just so much in the way of the materials, the sense of that enclosure, but what still slightly puzzles me is, where is my medieval moated manor house? I mean, that's what, in the first morning, that was the question that I kind of asked, and I just wondered, tomorrow...
We're doing lots of test pits in the garden of the manor house, so we might have some clues from that, but Richard?
I think that's going to be the best bet. I think it's going to be very close to where the current house is.
Okay. Well, tomorrow, hopefully.
Big day.
Fantastic.
If you're enjoying this dig, why not take it one step further and become a Time Team member? It's your front row seat to the greatest show on earth and under it. Become a Time Team member today and help us keep the archaeology coming.
Welcome to Norton Disney, and it's day 3 of our shoot, and we're already producing some amazing archaeology, working in gardens all over the village. But there's one thing that remains elusive: our medieval moated manor house, and we only have one day left to find it. Over days 1 and 2, our archaeologists in the trenches and the volunteer diggers in the test pits across the village have added a wealth of finds to our ever-expanding Disney timeline. And whilst we haven't found the earliest manor house, we now believe there was a small enclosure with a large moat surrounding it and a causeway running to the church.
You probably have 2 mattocks that are going down.
Carenza's now pinning all of her hopes on the raised area in the gardens alongside the current manor house.
Carenza!
Wow, what's happening?
Well, what you're seeing here is the evolution of a test pit into a trench in real time. If you come back this way a bit, you can see that we're on a kind of mound here. This mound might be the end of that range where it turns.
Oh, I see.
And you can see how the ground drops away again.
So this might be a platform on which our manor house might have stood?
Yes, a sort of courtyard of buildings of which the house would have been one, and you'd had a stable and a brewery and a bakehouse. And so we have literally, well, I can tell you precisely how many minutes ago, 9 minutes and 14 seconds ago, we started taking the turf off here. So what we're going to do is try and get down as quickly as possible. We're going to get everyone we can onto sieving all the spoil that comes out, take it down as fast as possible, and see if we can find any traces of a wall. So this is our best hope for a bit of structure. Okay guys, you're just on about 10 minutes now, and you've got all the turf off. Fantastic. So that's 10 minutes to de-turf 4 metres square. I'll restart the timer and see how long it takes to get down to the bottom.
You're terrifying when you get into your stride. Well, good luck.
Right.
See you later. Things remain confusing in Trench 2. The deep ditch Richard and Rachel are chasing appears surprisingly shallow and is also light on finds. Trench 1 is still full of demolition rubble, but a chance discovery by Keith persuades the team to dig deeper.
I'm finding some fragments, but rather large fragments. This could well be at the foot of a cauldron as well.
Yes.
So, and I've just come down though onto here to what looks like a surface.
Okay.
So it may be that needs some further investigation.
Yes, we're coming back in here to try and find the edge of our ditch. So hopefully, yes, that'll tie in quite nicely. We'll have another look at that and see what it is.
Could this be the first signs of structure still in situ from the earlier manor house?
What do we normally call 2 stones in a row?
That's got a nice edge to it, isn't it?
What do we normally call 3 stones in a row? That's a
castle, isn't it?
A castle.
Don't you dare tell me you've suddenly found a wall.
It's looking quite wall-like.
What is it we've got on the last day, John?
So Trench 1 is going to be extended in order to try and chase this wall. And more exciting news, this time from Test Pit 21, one of the newer ones in Julia's gardens.
Hi,
I heard that something
So
interesting
my
has been
wonderful
done.
son and
Hello.
another member of Wings of the Past has found a linear feature which is distinctly wall-like.
That is looking like a wall, isn't it?
So Harry, yeah.
Well done. It's
You want
Harry,
to tell?
is it?
This is Harry, yeah.
Fantastic.
So
That's what we've been looking for,
I
isn't
know,
it?
we've found a structure.
That is glorious.
It does seem to be mortared in. There's a certain amount of water coming out. And interestingly, above it, you've got a burning layer. And what else have you found in here, Harry?
Lots of animal bones.
So what kind of animals have you been finding?
Cow, sheep, dog.
Amazing.
They found almost a whole dog skeleton over here. We did check with the homeowners, it's not one of their pets.
This is like a super test pit, isn't it? With
Yeah.
a bit of everything, but critically,
A
a bit of our wall, which is what we've been looking for, isn't it?
Just phenomenal, isn't it?
Yeah. So we may now have evidence of the early manor house in two places around Julia's garden. But when did the Disney family, who built the first manor house, arrive here?
I found quite an interesting, well, a very interesting charter of 1150. I mean, it's an amazing document. A charter of Robert, son of Turketin. And I think that you will be interested in this because it says, "May it be known to you that I have given to God and to the Abbot Gerlow of Newhouse a certain place between Norton and Bassingham, which is called Rowdmiln, in which is cited the chapel of St James the Apostle, with assarts of water and the meadow lying around it."
The mill bit I can see might be mill. What does
Yes.
the rowder mean?
Well, I think I'm wondering if it might be road, rad in Old English. Road mill, maybe, because other roads are mentioned further down. But it also says, and two dwellings of mine, one upon the river with them in the eastern part of the same Norton, dum-de-dum-de-dum, and two strips of headland which from there extend themselves against the east next to the road.
There's quite a lot of topographic description.
There
in
is.
There. I like this
because I've
one,
cut out
yeah.
loads. I mean, you know, there's all this stuff about the croft that lies by it and the meadow.
You get that's really, really interesting.
Yes.
This charter from 1150 features a fabulous wax seal of a mounted knight and is the first mention of the Disneys here in Norton, taking our timeline back to just 84 years after the Norman conquest.
I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, is this mill in Doomsday? And I have already looked in Doomsday and it isn't there.
The fact it's not at Doomsday, you don't have a mill mentioned, doesn't mean the mill has to be close to Norton Disney, does it? So we should be looking at what the parishes roundabout I suggest you look at as well. Stapleford, Bassingham, or Bassingham, if I get the pronunciation right,
Yes.
to see if there are any mills mentioned there.
Yes, because it does say a certain place between Norton and Bassingham. So I should look up Bassingham, shouldn't I,
You
for a
should look at
start?
Bassingham. Have you got it
Okay.
there now?
I have. I've got it somewhere. I've got everything somewhere.
Somewhere, okay, well.
Bassingham. Yes. And one soakman having 6 ploughs and 2 mills, rendering
2
32
mil.
shillings. Oh, that is brilliant.
Great.
That is brilliant. So one of those mills is probably our Rowder mill. So you need to look on the border of Bassingham and Norton.
That's where I will be starting to
Okay.
concentrate, yeah.
And
I'm getting quite excited by this. It's really unusual to have a historic document like this, which has got so much topographic information in it. I actually understand. It's giving me a kind of a picture of the landscape in some of the narrative in there. This is wonderful. There are plenty of clues, I suspect, in there to help locate this mill.
And I would like a chapel because
you would
I
you?
would,
You're
as
a
well
bit
as a mill. I
demanding
would like
today,
a
aren't
chapel
you?
because that's already standing.
Right.
By the time he writes his charter. Yes, the chapel of St James the Apostle. with sorts of water and the meadow lying around it.
Exactly where you'd expect, close to a river. Or so this is both a chapel and a watermill, and they're all probably going to be in the same sort of location.
And ideally a road. And then I will try and find out why on earth there's a chapel next to a watermill.
Okay.
Right across the town, the test pit story is getting ever more complex. Some test pits have now been backfilled, while others are still going great guns in the hunt for more clues about the development of the manor house and the village. With heaps of finds coming in, the village hall is a hive of activity. Danny is making sure everything is properly recorded, and Carenza and Jane are plotting finds locations on a map and trying to make sense of any concentrations of dateable pottery. Everyone in the village seems to be involved, including our visiting Disney relatives.
So, Toby, I believe you're a Disney as well, you and your family?
That's right, yes. Yeah, something like 30 generations back, through my mother, who was the original Disney.
I know your children are here having a go. How does that feel, getting hands-on?
For me, it's great. I love to see the kids getting involved in history, particularly local history. I guess I'm a geologist by background a little bit, so I've always kind of dabbled, always had a strong interest in archaeology, so getting the kids, with a bit of family history, the whole Disney connection, it's just fantastic to be here and see it and see them actually really enjoy it.
Meanwhile, Jane, Sarah and Simon have travelled to Somerton Castle, a stately home just 6 miles away, once owned by their ancestors, and the original Disney castle.
So effectively you're looking at the Disney wing here.
That's it. Well, that's it. Yes. That's it. Yes. That's it.
We'll see where and what's poured down.
Yes.
Well, I think I'm entitled to my nickname, which is Lady Jane, after all of this.
Meanwhile, the team in Test Pit 8 have made a remarkable discovery.
And that's one of your test pits.
Yeah, there's another one that's grown a little bit.
It's growing. They have a habit of growing.
And we've literally just extended it by half a metre here, because we found something really interesting in the bottom of it. But what's really interesting is just under this, and we sort of covered it over to keep it clean while we're extending, was this lump of stone.
Ooh, gosh.
Clearly been artificially made into that shape, because that's not the natural shape. It may be a bit of architectural stone from a sort of window or a doorway or a roof or something, but it might be a bit of sculpted stone from, a tomb or something like that. So we could only see the half of it that you can see of the cut of the original test pit when we first found it. So we've now extended this test pit just another 50 centimetres. We can now see how big it is. This is you can see that sort of square sense that it would have joined onto the next. It's like a series of Lego bricks really sticking together, So this would have been the next one here, but we can't see the other sides of it. So what we need to do is get it out of the ground, and then hopefully we'll be able to work out what it might have been part of.
And Helen is called to Trench 1.
Hilda. Hiya.
Hi.
I hear you've got something exciting.
Yes. So Keith found that.
Right. Well, this is really distinctive. This is a chafing dish, and that is a dish support. And the theory is that it's a bowl on a pedestal which you can put heat hot coals into.
Chafing dishes, from the French word chauffer, were portable vessels used to warm food at the table over hot coals. Popular in the 16th century, one such lavish dish was discovered in the wreck of the Mary Rose.
So this is very much kind of the Lord of the Manor tableware that you'd expect. So I wonder which Disney, this has got to be a Disney, I wonder which Disney was having his or her food kept hot by the chafing dish. So where was it found?
So it was basically found kind of on / slightly next to this wall. There's a lot of kitchen material in general as well. A lot of animal bone, pottery, oyster shells as well.
This is all getting quite exciting, isn't it?
After 2 days of digging, the team in Trench 2 still haven't located the deep moat.
Richard,
how's
hello,
it going?
Gus. Yeah, good.
So, are we at the bottom of our ditch now?
Well, you remember on the geophysical survey there was a big signal here. We're trying to pick up the ditch from Trench 1 coming all the way around here. At the moment, that's looking quite shallow.
It is a bit shallow, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's part of the same.
Well, I don't know.
Ditch complex.
The material at the moment we're getting is 19th century. So, Rachel, have we had any other dateable material from this yet?
Yes, yes. We have a nibbed tile where the tile hangs against the batons on the roof using the nib rather than the traditional nail or peg hole. In this area, the nib tiles are earlier than the holed ones, but we'll need to check with Jane for the exact dates. It will be somewhere in the medieval period, I'm sure.
Oh, really?
I hope.
Well, that's exciting.
It's positive, isn't it? Yeah, maybe not be 13th century yet, but nonetheless, it's, we're getting there, aren't we?
Cross fingers.
Yeah, good. Anyway, we'll see you by the end of the day.
Okay, fantastic. The volunteers in Test Pit 17 have made huge progress.
Okay, guys. You've been digging this trench for 4 hours now, which is fantastic. It's 5 metres by 1 metre. Not much has been done before. You've made amazing progress. We've only got about another 2 hours of digging to go. It's looking absolutely fantastic. We've got masses of building rubble, which is probably what's making up this mound. The big question is if there's any surviving structure here. So you've got this beautifully cleaned up. We can get this photographed. But my sense is what we should do while we're here is take this down further. And if we don't take this up now and go further down and see if there are any stones neatly in a row, either going that way or this way, then we'll never know. If we don't do it now, we'll never know. So I think for the last big push, I know I can ask you guys to do that because you've done so well so far.
In an effort to date the big ditch in Trench 1, Naomi's called in to sample the soil.
So we've got this lovely gravel surface coming up here, which I think is probably underneath what I now think is rubble from this wall.
Yeah.
But over here, straight on top of it, is this packed layer of, I can only describe it as black stuff.
Can I have a little piece of the black
could
stuff?
you please tell me what this could be and whether it's worth sampling?
Okay. Let's try it on a piece of paper. All right, okay. So I think we've got 2 types of black stuff going on here. This is more like coal. But then we do clearly have bits in there that is charcoal. And whatever else might be within that, because if it's a dump from a fire, we could have any kind of kitchen refuse in there, grain, that kind of thing.
And we've had a lot of that kind of stuff, a lot of animal bone, a lot of pottery.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we'll take a nice sample of this and then I'll go and put it straight in the tank and see what we can come up with.
Amazing.
All right.
Hilda, Naomi, how's it going?
Pretty amazingly, to be honest. A very good day 3 so far. So we've suddenly got at least one wall. We thought we had a cobbled surface there, maybe. It was
So can you
rough.
show me the wall, just so I
Yeah.
get a sense of it?
So the wall runs this way through the trench, and it seems to stop here, which could be... We thought it might turn, but it just stopped, so it seems to be some sort of entrance.
And is this a mortared wall, or is it kind of dry? Is it...
At the moment, we've just got dry stone.
Yes.
But we'll have another fertile at it. But then on this side, we've got this lovely gravel surface coming up.
Amazing.
With what appears to be just rubble on top of it, which is packed full of fines.
Really?
Yeah, and probably some roof tile collapse here as well. And this really thick black layer of burnt material just on top of the gravel. So Naomi's taken a sample of that.
How fascinating. So what's outside and what's inside? So the wall is here. Are we outside of a building?
We don't know yet whether there's a potential surface on the other side of the wall. We still need to find out, but this is looking very nice. So it could well be the inside of a building.
Wow. Wow. And what sort of period are we thinking, Hilda?
So some of the finds have been dated to probably the 16th century, which seems to tie in with some of the other finds in this area.
Back in the dome, Stewart's poring over historic maps, trying to locate the Disney's medieval mill. And just outside, Naomi is processing the soil from Trench 1.
Nearly finished with this sample here, and if you have a look in here, you'll probably be able to see it a little bit better when I take it out, but it is absolutely full of bits of CBM and brick rubble and probably little pieces of pottery. We even have glass. Now this is really, really thin, really, really flat, so I don't think it's from a bottle or anything like that. There's going to be lots of small things in here, maybe even some small nails, other tiny artefacts that won't have been spotted by eye in the trenches, so that's pretty good. But I'm really pleased that we've got all of this charcoal, and I think it's really going to help to work out the purpose of this house.
Meanwhile, the carved stone in test pit 8 is ready to lift.
It's definitely shaped, but...
Oh, brilliant. Fantastic. Oh, wow. Right. Wow.
Well, what have we got here then? Well, I think we can definitely confirm that it's been moulded. This face here, that face there, they look really clearly chisel cut. There's a band there. This curves down to what looks like a base here. And if we turn it over,
God, is it a bowl?
the interior of it
My God.
is shaped as well. This forming a rim.
My God, that we really didn't expect. It's not a font.
I don't think it's a font, but it
But
could be
that's-
something like a stoop.
Yeah, for holding holy water.
Holy
Oh my
water
God.
that you then put your hand into, make the sign of the cross.
God,
These
you can
don't
see the chisel
survive
on
that often.
Stoops in the Middle Ages were commonly carved of stone and lined with lead bowls. Filled with holy water, they were usually located near the door into a church.
Why would they take it out?
Well, again, this is Catholicism. This is the Reformation coming in, and all of a sudden, holy water is superstitious, and it's not concurrent with what the Church of England wants. So these things disappear.
So that's throwing us again into the 17th century, isn't it?
Well,
Which
into
is
the
that
16th,
17th
17th,
century.
yeah,
But
yeah,
that period
yeah.
when the Disneys are kind of getting up to the height of their achievement, getting knighted in 603.
Yeah.
50 years later,
Yeah.
they've sold the estate.
Cheese. Happiness.
There you go.
If you love Time Team, you can become a Time Team member today. Your membership directly funds excavations like this and helps us make new programmes and so much more. Plus, you'll get ad-free viewing, behind-the-scenes access and a host of other benefits as well. So become a member today.
With the Reformation in mind, Lawrence looks at the Disney tombs and wonders how they too might have been altered. In Trench 1, Chris and pottery expert Jane agree on a date for the infill in their ditch.
Hello. Hiya. What have you got? We've got a nice little assemblage of pottery here that's come out from our rubble possible collapse layer. So hopefully it'll be good for dating the end of the use of the building.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. I bring that up to you.
Thank you. Oh, wonderful. Yep, that's a beautiful Midlands yellow cup. Mid-16th, mid-17th century.
Okay,
Made at
that's good.
Pickenham in Derbyshire. This is about the same date, probably made in Ticknowitz cup. This is another cup, mid-16th, 17th, as is that. But unfortunately, this one here is much later. It's late 17th or 18th century, so it's a bit mixed. But most of your stuff is probably prior to the Civil War, so it's like some of the stuff you had from the trench over there.
That's good. Stratigraphically, we were hoping it was going to come in at mid-16th, 17th century. So
yeah, there's just that one piece.
Yes, that could easily be intrusive in that kind of rubbly
But very
makeup.
very nice to pick up.
And in test bit 17, it looks like Carenza's decision to dig through the rubble was a good one.
Hello, Matt. Hello. Oh yes, because this was a load of demolition, wasn't there?
Absolutely.
Kind of walls and roofs and things, and it was mostly limestone. And you've got limestone flags, I think?
Yep, and they haven't moved, they're completely flat, as you can see. So we're just trying to sort of trace to see where the line goes, really.
Oh, so do we know what date it is? Have you got any
we were talking
dating?
medieval, but we don't know for sure, do we?
I'd like to think it was the time of the first manor house.
Yes, I think we all do. But then the first manor house, I mean, goodness knows how many there have been. You know, we're looking for a 1625 one, aren't we? We're looking for one before 1625, and we're looking for something all the way back to at least 1150. So what we need you to find is something that is stratified under the demolition and on top of the floor, ideally. That's really, really fantastic, and a perfect timing, you know, afternoon of day 3.
Yep.
Don't take it much closer to the wire than that.
Back in Trench 1, Simon has grabbed a trowel to help dig his ancestral home.
If you could just slot yourself in next to Harry here. I mean,
Yeah,
there's lots
sure.
to do, so we really appreciate the help.
Just down here?
Yes, please.
Yep, hi. Okay then, here we go. So I'm with you.
So you just use your trowel and just take off this lump in front of you, and you should come down onto this like pebbly surface.
Right, now I'll take this back.
Yep.
So I see I've got pebbles here, but do you want these cleared?
Yeah, you can be a bit firmer with it. And
Okay.
Sort of just take it down.
Yes.
There we go. And you can feel that change then, can't you? When it becomes a bit more solid.
I'm with you, yes. So are we looking for stones like that over there?
And you can begin to give it a brush.
Yes.
And that will then just, once we've taken off the soil on the top, you can just begin to see the... So if you want to give that a go,
please.
just in front of you there, that'd
Yes.
be really handy. Yeah, just like a little flick. There we go, and all of a sudden they pop out.
I'm with you, I'm with you. So my ancestors might well have walked on this.
Exactly, yeah. Might have cleaned it as well.
Oh, yeah, well, I don't know about cleaning.
Got someone else to clean it for you.
Yes, I hope so. Oh, none of that for my ancestors. I'm sure they had plenty of servants. Oh, here we are, look. I've just found a clay pipe.
Fantastic.
Meanwhile, Stewart's got a flood of information for Helen about the long-lost Disney mill and chapel.
So, Stewart, what have you found for me? Have you got my chapel? Have you got the mill?
I think you'll rather like this. I've had tremendous fun doing this because it involved a very old map for a start off.
Yeah, that's amazing.
1560s.
Right.
And it's a map attached to a dispute. Yeah, it's great. So let me show you this map first of all, because it's really important in locating the mill site. It's showing us the land under dispute, and it's got lots of detail on it. Importantly, the parish boundaries.
Right.
That's where I like to start with this. Norton Disney, Stapleford, Bassingham there, Carlton here.
Right.
And the dispute is between a bit of land by the riverside and a mill.
Is that the mill?
That's it, Norton Disney Mill. And this is a dispute between Richard Disney and somebody called Sir Robert Tyrw. How do you pronounce that?
Tyrwhitt.
It's a dispute over land where the river has changed course, and the mill is on one side of the river, and then the river changes course and burst its banks and taken a new course, and actually suddenly there's a change in the landscape.
Yes.
And historically, the boundaries between the parishes went down the course of the river, and suddenly the river changes, and oh dear, we've got stuff on the wrong side of the river. Who does it belong to now? That kind of thing.
So that very lucrative mill is being claimed by somebody entirely different.
It's fascinating, and this map gives a level of detail. It says the old course of the river, the new course of the river, high ground, low ground. It's really detailed. So what I'm looking for is somewhere near water.
Yes.
Somewhere where there's lots of old meanders in the river, and where the river might have changed course.
Right.
and where the parish boundaries might all be a bit confused. And there's only one location, and that is there. Can you see how the parish boundaries curve around for... You see,
Yes,
they're actually going round the old river bends.
Yes.
But this bit of land here is in Norton Disney on this side of the river.
That is very clearly new. So that puts our mill where?
In that area there. Now, if you look on the LiDAR, that's exactly the same area there. If you want to put the map next to it, there. Norton Disney,
right.
Bassingham, there's the river.
Right.
The river formerly went down here in all those bends.
Oh, so that straight bit there is that straight bit
That
there.
bit there. Now, look.
Oh.
I'm sure even you can see that, and I don't mean that rudely.
That's rectangular shapes. So are those building platforms?
Yeah,
no,
they're-
hang on.
Yes, rectangular building, and we've also got a channel called a leat. It's a mill race, taking water to a mill.
And if that's the leat, well, where do you think the chapel could that be the chapel?
Well,
Yeah.
the thing here is there's lots of interesting lumps and bumps around here, very definitive shape. That's exactly where the mill would be, because the mill race goes into it and would turn a wheel and then goes out from it. There's a rectangular structure there which looks very, very interesting indeed. So I'm very, very, very confident that the documents you came up with, plus this map, plus the LiDAR analysis, all tells the same story. There's the site of the mill, and somewhere there is the site of the chapel as well.
But wouldn't it be interesting if that was an Anglo-Saxon centre, and that's why we've not found any Anglo-Saxon stuff around here?
That is tantalising.
Yeah.
It really is tantalising. But
So, yes.
there's a lot in there, clearly. Unfortunately, we can't actually get on that land. It's been under crops, and you currently can't get on there. But
And we're running out of time.
And we're running
as
out
well.
of time. But one of the most enjoyable things I've done for so many years doing. I'm so glad you asked me to look at that. I've really enjoyed.
Yeah. You've kind of been stepping back over the centuries into the mind of a 12th century person interested in landscape, haven't you? No or yes?
Over in Trench 1, Chris can't quite safely reach the bottom of the moat, so he asks Henry for help.
Whereabouts have I got a core? You know, I've heard that you want me to try and find where the bottom of the ditch is. So where's the best place to go for initially? Probably that bit, yeah.
Yeah, that'll give us our deepest
Okay.
reading, I would think, yeah.
Right, I'll go. What's the best way into the site? Is it into the trench?
Slither down.
Slither
down this end, yeah.
Right. There's nothing I can break, is there? Well, apart from the section.
No, it's all recorded now.
Brilliant. Okay. Ooh, like we're hitting stone already, look at that. And that's what you're getting so far. That's just ditch fill, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And we've got it nicely on the edge of the ditch there as well.
Absolutely. It does look good, doesn't it?
That's another 85 from there. 85 down there on top of what you've already got.
So we're looking at 2.5 metres for the total depth of the feature.
Which is substantial.
Yeah.
It's big.
That augurs well for it being a moat, I would say.
Oh dear, oh dear.
That's, way taller than any of us here. Then that's a substantial restrictive or demonstrative feature, isn't it? It really does make a big statement, something that big. So that's perfect. We don't need to go and excavate anymore. We've got the depth.
Yep.
We've got the story here, and I think that works neatly.
There's no sign of the deep moat in Trench 2, just a broad, shallow ditch. And with the end of the day approaching, it's time to resolve Test Pit 17. Carenza, I haven't seen you for a bit. So this started out as a test pit,
Yes.
but with grand ideas.
Indeed, it's the test pit that grew up and went to town.
Is this a
This
floor?
is a flagstone paved floor, basically. This is the floor of the medieval building. And we've got pottery off the top of it
from 15th, 16th century date, and a really nice big sherd of it there. Look at that glaze on
glazed
there.
on.
So this is telling us this building is it's the one in that inventory of 1540. Which is describing the contents. This is one of the rooms of this range of building that those contents would have been in. And that building that's still standing in 1540 could have been built in the medieval period. So it's our medieval building probably that is the one that's still there in the 16th century, then replaced by the 1625 one, then replaced by the existing building.
Amazing.
There it is. This is the floor they'd have walked on.
So
the Disneys would have walked on this floor.
How glorious. I mean, this is what I wanted from the very beginning, but there was, I must admit, a little bit of doubt in me. A little bit of doubt.
Well, if I'm absolutely honest, I said it was our best bet, but I didn't say it was a dead cert.
It's now time to make sense of all the finds. Back in the village hall, Carenza starts to plot all of the dated pottery into a location map.
So that's got one bit of Torquay, according to your list. Well, it's got Torquay. There's that bit of Stamford from 15. So the pre-conquest focus seems to be either end of the village, then perhaps extends a bit. What we're getting is we've also got the Torquay ware from 3 sites, quite a lot around the back of the pub, and 1 or 2 sherds down Main Street, but all on the north side. And then we've got a sort of smattering of the kind of high medieval. Some test pits have got quite a lot and some have got less, sort of up and down Main Street, but not very much along the Church Lane area.
No. Over in the church, through the magic of 3D projection mapping, Lawrence adds a final splash of colour to the day's proceedings.
Well, Lawrence, this is spectacular, and what a wonderful end to the 3 days. Coming in here and seeing this figure reanimated in all of its glory. It's absolutely beautiful.
Isn't it nice? What this statue, this carving might have looked like in its prime.
It's beautiful that the buckles, the hilt on the sword, in all of the details, all highlighted in, and I'm imagining their original colours.
Exactly that. I mean, we know through the research that the heraldic symbol, the shield that brought Walt Disney here, had red lions and a silver shield. So we stayed true to that. We've really looked to do justice to William here and bring back the colour that perhaps it would have been in its full glory.
And you can imagine in the candlelight a figure like this. It's a perfect sort of way of encapsulating this story, that we've brought this Disney story back to life.
That's it.
And I can't think of a better way of illustrating it. Reanimated.
It's not hard to imagine how these Disney tombs inspired Walt to incorporate medieval images into his own artwork back in the United States. And after 3 days, James and Bear can pull together everything we now know to model the Manor House. We know from individual finds, like the chafing dish, that the Disneys enjoyed all the mod cons and trappings of great wealth. The flagstone floors were well made and of a high quality, again demonstrative of high status lifestyles. The window glass and lead speak to high stone walls and a heavily tiled roof on massive wooden beams, a building style that put the Disneys in the upper echelons of society. Outside, what we know of the footprint indicates that this was a substantial property with many subsidiary buildings stretching over a large area. All enclosed by a shallow moat, designed to show off by reflecting the beauty of the property. A cobbled causeway led from the Manor House to the church, keeping Disney boots dry as they crossed a deep outer moat on their way to the parish church to say their prayers. Once inside the church, they would have dipped their fingers in their stoup, crossing themselves with holy water, before heading to their private chapel, where they would sit amongst the effigies of their ancestors, emblazoned with powerful imagery. But how did the Manor House fit into the development of the village? It's time to conclude our test pit excavations.
Well, that has been an exhausting 3 days of incredible high-speed work.
You think it's been exhausting. You want to talk about the guys digging the test pit.
But we should all have been wearing step counters, shouldn't we, to know how far we've run. This morning, our priorities were to get a date for the ditch and to also find some buildings that could be part of the Manor House complex. So how have we done on those two?
Well, I think from the trenches, it's a bit of a mixed picture, if I'm honest. We've got some 13th century pottery in the ditch in Trench 1, but above that, a lot of 17th century clay pipe bowls, pottery, elements from that sort of Civil War sort of period.
So that's being perhaps dug before the 13th century and filling up in the 17th. Kind of covers most of the period of the Disneys.
Yeah, I think
they're building it in their heyday, and it's finishing when they leave.
That's right, and the real excitement, I think, was probably on this end of the trench. There was a wall. There's quite a nicely built wall with a cobbled surface. There were a few finds there. There was a chafing dish.
That's where the chafing dish came out from, yes.
That's right, so the chafing dish, and I think there'll be some things in the post-excavation with the samples that will be also adding to that particular story. So that's the story of Trench 1. Now, we were hoping to pick up that same ditch feature in Trench 2.
Yes, as it curved round, didn't it?
And we did find a ditch, but it was much shallower. Probably only about 70 centimetres deep. Not a lot of pottery or dating evidence within that. It was flat-bottomed, quite shallow.
See, that sounds more like an ornamental moat type feature where you've got a kind of wide, shallow, you're just providing a sheet of water which will reflect your house. That would be quite often quite regularly cleaned out. So that may be why you're not getting much dating evidence from it.
So do you think that those are two different ditches from the two different trenches?
That's a really good question. I would say yes, probably. The geophysics also showed that they weren't necessarily the same feature, and I would certainly think they're two different structures.
So the trenches have answered some of the questions we had about is there a moat, what is it like? What about the test pits?
Well, we were very keen to try and find buildings this morning, so we extended test pit 17 here to be 5 metres long because it was on that mount. And actually, that has been brilliant. We've got all these test pits in the garden here. We've got a bit of wall coming here. But what, of course, has been fantastic here is we've got that paved floor surface, which is clearly the floor of a medieval building there. And it must be the inside of the building. So we've got this space that people have been walking around on there. We've got that complex surviving. But actually, more widely, of course, we had that. What about the village? So we've now managed to map the finds of different dates from the test pits as so far. Some haven't been washed yet, so this is very preliminary. But if we go to before the Disneys are arriving, so this is your late Anglo-Danish, Morcar, before the Norman Conquest. We've got a lot of this material here at the back of the pub, a few bits here, and there's 1 or 2 test pits producing single sherds there. We've got that sense of what's going on is around here, nothing that we know of from the memorial site. Into the kind of high medieval period, what we might call early Disney, we can see the village has really grown. So all these purple pits are the ones that are producing pottery of that date around the church and the old vicarage. I haven't put the Manor House ones on because it's all a bit different what's going on there. But there's that sense that the village is developing this end, but not here. There's really very little going on around here at that time. Village seems to contract a lot in late Disney period, but it's probably not the Disney's fault. It's probably to do with the Black Death and the economic turmoil and everything else. Seems to collapse a bit around the church area here. And then into the post-Disney period, late Disney, post-Disney, we see the village sort of picking up again, sort of along the street there.
But that is really interesting. It all fits in with the history of this being the kind of apogee, getting better and better and better until that spectacular crash in the 17th century.
But if you're keen on karma, then when you get the period after the Disney lords have left, we're getting lots and lots of pottery, which presumably means that people have got disposable income to spend on it. The village is growing and recovering, and it seems that the Manor House is not doing very well. The Disneys have to sell the estate, so maybe it all catches up with somebody.
Yes, a rising tide doesn't lift all boats, does it?
What a wonderful 3 days. Amazing finds, incredible trenches, but also this community coming together. Volunteers, service personnel, everyone in a truly Herculean task. And at the end of the day, we've been able to tell that story
of the Disneys here in this wonderful village. It's got to be said, it's been a bit of a fairy tale.
Join Time Team on Patreon to access exclusive 3D models, masterclasses, and behind-the-scenes insights.